today's topic is going to be about countries and capitals. We're going to see the different continents in the world, and then we're going to explore about each country in each continent and what are the special facts about those countries. And you'll also get to see the map in which the countries are located. Okay, so today we'll be mostly covering Asia. So now let's start with our planet. Here we have 7 continents: Asia, Europe, Africa, North America, South America, Australia, and Antarctica. If you see the globe, you can see North America is here, here's South America, and then you can see how the oceans divide the continents. For example, between North America and Europe and Africa, we have the Atlantic Ocean, and that is divided into North Atlantic Ocean here and South Atlantic Ocean here. Right? Now, between America and Asia, if you see, the full part is covered by Pacific Ocean. Here it's North Pacific Ocean, here it's South Pacific Ocean. This is North, this is South. So, America and Asia, between them, what is there? Pacific Ocean is there. Whereas between North America and Europe and Africa, there is Atlantic Ocean. So, what is there here? Near us, we have the Indian Ocean. This is the only ocean that is named after a country, and we should be really proud of it because it is Indian Ocean. Now, you can see here there's Europe, and then here there's Africa, and here there is Asia. Now, this continent as a whole, sometimes it's called, this is the Eurasian plate, okay? Because although it is 2 continents, we still have a landlocked boundary. Now, then we have Australia and Oceania because it's mainly surrounded by ocean on all sides, and that is why Australia is both an island and still a continent. Australia is kind of the only island which is also a separate continent. Then we finally have Antarctica. Yeah, this is how the planet is divided into different into different continents. Now, if you approximately, we see the world population is approximately 8 billion people, and we have around 148, close to 150 million kilometers square as the total land area, only land. Okay, the countries, we have almost 195 recognized countries. What is meant by recognition? What do you mean by recognized countries? For example, the UN or we will accept that you are a country. When all the other countries accept or recognize them as a country, then they are called as countries. There are some parts of the world, for example, if you read news, you will come to know that even in today's world, there are a lot of fights going on. For example, the Jews are asking for their own country, and there are the Gaza Strip and all. Some people are asking for countries, whereas some people will think that this is my country. I am calling this as my own country. So sometimes they are not, those countries are not recognized by the other people or by other international organizations like United Nations. So right now we have 195 recognized countries. So if this is the land area, 150 million kilometers square is the land area, this only is 29% of the land, or 29% of the whole area of Earth is 150 million kilometers square. The remaining 71% of Earth, you can see the blue line is more than the land part, right? So the 71% of Earth is covered by oceans. 71% of Earth is covered by oceans. Go continent by continent. Today we will be talking about Asia. So when we consider the Asian continent, what are some of the facts that you know about the Asian continent? First, it consists of 44.6 million square kilometer. This is the area of Asia. Population 4.7 billion. It only consists of million kilometer square, but we have 4.7 billion people, and it consists of 49 countries. So a continent is comprised of a lot of countries, right? So here in Asia, we have 49 countries. Some of the facts about Asia is it is the largest and the most populous continent on Earth. It is the largest, but it is also the most populous. Now, if you see, one of the main reason for this is Asia has both China and India. For quite some time, China was the highest population. China had the highest population, but then now we have defeated China and we have the highest population in the world. So India is the first largest in population and China is second. And both of these countries, both India and China, are present in Asia. And that is one of the reasons why they have the most population. Now, it is home to the world's highest peak, that is Mount Everest. It is there in Asia. Over 60%, that is more than 60%, more than 60% of the world's population lives in Asia. Okay. Now just see, we can compare and see here. Look, this is the whole world, right? Now, all of these red parts, they are all landforms, and the whole human population is spread in this part. Yeah, in Antarctica, we don't have like there are visitors and tourists, but there's no much of permanent settlements there. So this is the whole place. Now you can see how much they cover and how much Asia covers. Asia is not even 50% of the whole landform, but this part alone, Asia alone, is the home for more than 60% of the world population. So you can see how congested people might have to live in Asia, because all of these places, the 40% is spread. But in this place alone, 60% of the human population is present. Now, Asia has the world's two most populous countries, as I told, China and India. The Amazon River might be the longest, but it is present in South America. But when it comes to Asia, what is the longest river in Asia? Asia has Yangtze. This river is the longest in Asia. Now, we're going to see country by country and which is the capital. Okay. Now, Afghanistan. Now we know about Afghanistan because recently you would have seen in newspapers about Taliban and how US came in to protect, and then when US withdrew its troops, Taliban once again came to power and they are ruling Afghanistan. Now, the capital of Afghanistan is Kabul. The capital city of Afghanistan is Kabul. Now this Afghanistan has one of the world's oldest cities, that is 3,500 years back, cities are also present in Afghanistan. Now, in the map, we'll see Afghanistan. Okay, this is Asia map. Now, here, if you see, this is Afghanistan. Okay, this part, this is Afghanistan. What do you see here? For example, this is India. We know these are all coastal cities, right? Because we have a lot of we have a lot of beaches and other kinds of landforms in India. But if you see Afghanistan, you can see it's a landlocked country. You cannot see one beach or any kinds of sea features there because it is completely locked by other countries and it is a landlocked country. Now, next we are going to see about Armenia. Now, Armenia, its capital is Yerevan. Okay, its capital is Yerevan. Now, something very interesting about Armenia is it is the world's oldest Christian nation. For example, now Pakistan is an Islam nation. India is a secular nation. What is meant? What is the difference? So, India is a secular nation in the meaning that we don't follow one religion. We are open to people following any religion that they want, and as a country, we don't have a religion. But Pakistan is an Islam country, which means their national religion is Islam. Similarly, there are Christian nations as well. There are nations which openly tell that they are a Christian nation. This country, Armenia, was the first nation in the world to declare themselves as the Christian nation. So, one of the world's oldest Christian nations adopting Christianity in 301 AD. At 301 AD itself, they declared themselves as a Christian nation. Next, Azerbaijan. This is another country in Asia. Now, its capital is Baku. Baku is the capital of Azerbaijan. Now, one of the interesting facts about Azerbaijan is that it's called as the land of fire. Why? There is one place in Azerbaijan where, because there are natural gas present in the ground, it just keeps burning. Uh, Bubbles of burning will be coming till now in that area, and that is why they are called as the land of fire, because of its natural gas fires that burn from the ground. From the ground, the fire just keeps happening. And in order to represent that, in Azerbaijan, they would have built buildings that look like fire. It's like very tall buildings that will depict fire because they are proud of their geographical feature. So Azerbaijan is called as the land of fire and its capital is Baku. Now, Bahrain. This is another country. Now we have to remember this is the smallest country in Asia. Bahrain is the smallest country in Asia and it has its capital at Manama. Now, this smallest country in Asia is the first country or the first Gulf country to discover oil. Now we know that Gulf countries, for example, there is something called the Gulf Cooperation Council, GCC. They have all nations together where they export oil. They will decide the price for exporting oil. Now in India also it will affect if they change the price because we have to get oil from other countries as well, like the Gulf countries. So one of the first Gulf country to discover oil was Bahrain. Next we have Bangladesh. Now these will be easy for you because these are neighboring countries of India like Bangladesh. So Bangladesh's capital is Dhaka. The capital of Bangladesh is Dhaka. Now, one of the main features of Bangladesh is they are the home to Sundarbans, the world's largest mangrove forest. Now, even India has Sundarbans, but it's not very extensive. In India, it is present in West Bengal. The Sundarbans are present in West Bengal in India, but the main or the home of it is present in Bangladesh. Now, if you see the map, you'll know. Okay, so now we've completed Afghanistan. This is Armenia. Okay, here they have given Armenia, and we have completed that as well. Bahrain, we could just like strike off what we have already seen. Armenia we've completed. Bahrain we completed now. Yes? Okay. Where is this is Bhutan and this is Bangladesh. Now, when it comes to Bangladesh, you can see it is very closely aligning with the place of India, that is in West Bengal. This just means that the Sundarbans is spread across West Bengal and Bangladesh, but the major part of Sundarbans or mangrove forest is present in Bangladesh, and that is why it is called as the home of the Sundarbans. So now we have done with Bangladesh. What is the capital that we saw now? Okay. Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh. Next is Bhutan. Again, another small country which is a neighbor to India. So Bhutan, like in the next class, we can also see how India is, how much space of India is occupied by the nearest neighboring country with whom we share more border, with whom we share less border and all. But now, Bhutan. Bhutan's capital is Thimphu. Okay. This is the only country in the world that measures success by gross national happiness. Now, what is meant by GNP? Gross national happiness. Sorry, GNH. Now you know GDP. You would have heard about GDP in newspapers or when people measure how successful a government is. They will be talking about GDP. What is meant by GDP? Gross domestic product. So gross domestic product means the economy, how good it is blooming, how much you are earning. If you take it in a very small area, for example, in your house, your mom, dad, all of them, whatever they're earning, if you calculate the amount, that is the turnover for your family. Okay, that is the gross domestic product or what all money you are producing in your family. Same, you take it for India or a country. The whole country, how much production it has, how much money they have been earning. That is called the gross domestic product in a very basic sense. Now, using that only we will measure our success, or using that only all the nations, most of the nations will measure, what to say, their development. But here, when it comes to Bhutan, they have something called the Gross National Happiness Index, where GNHI, where they will measure success, or they will measure development in terms of how happy its citizens are. Now, Brunei. Next is Brunei. This is a very small country, but at the same time, it's one of the wealthiest countries in Asia. Its capital is Bandar Seri Begawan. Now, it's not very compulsory that you have to know all the capitals by heart, but it's good that you know the main cities and capitals, but at the same time, you know some facts about it and you can try to remember in the map. One of the wealthiest nations per capita due to vast oil and gas reserves. They have a lot of oil and gas reserves, and that is why they are one of the wealthiest nations. Next, Cambodia. Now, you would have known about Cambodia because of Angkor Wat. Cambodia has Angkor Wat. Now, this is the largest religious monument. It first was like a temple, but then later it was converted into a Buddhist site. Its capital is Phnom Penh, and it is home to Angkor Wat, the world's largest religious monument. Next, we have China, and we know a lot of things about China. They are our neighbors. At the same time, it is one of the largest economies in the world. We also use a lot of made in China products, and that's how their market is. They have such a big market. And Beijing is the capital of China. But you have to know about the Great Wall of China. You would have heard about it. It stretches around 21,000 kilometers, and it was built so back, but still it is the longest wall ever built. The Great Wall of China that stretches over 21,000 kilometers. It is the longest wall ever built. Next, we have Cyprus. Now, Cyprus is a nation with its capital at Nicosia. Now, another thing that you have to remember about Cyprus is its capital is shared between two nations. It is the only capital in the world that is a divided capital. Okay, the city. This is the only capital city in the world that is split between Greek and Turkish zones. So it is a split capital or a divided capital, that is Nicosia. Now, another interesting fun fact about Cyprus is it is called as the land of cats, because here the cat population is more than the human population. That's why Cyprus has a lot of cats, even more than humans themselves. And that's why it's called the land of cats. Now, here we've seen about China. Now you can see how large China is in Asia. And we share border with China. And we also share border with Bhutan. And we've learned about that. Cambodia. Here is Angkor Wat. This is what we saw. Cambodia. We finished Cambodia. And Brunei. Again, Brunei is one of the wealthiest nations. We've seen about it. Yeah. These are the countries that we've covered for now. Azerbaijan. Also we've covered. Yes. These are all the countries that we covered now. Now we'll go to the next list. Georgia. Now, the country Georgia has the capital at Tbilisi. Tbilisi is one of the, Georgia is one of the oldest wine producing regions in the world, with evidence of winemaking dating back to 8,000 years. What is meant by evidence of winemaking? This just means that, for example, we have Indus Valley civilization. Now, although we don't have the actual, pictures or actual written history about it, through evidences, through archaeology, we can find out what happened so many years back. Yes? For example, if we saw some toys or some bangles, we will know that they were been using jewelry in Indus Valley civilization. or they used to play with dolls in Indus Valley civilization. Similarly, winemaking. For winemaking, almost 8,000 years back, also they have evidence that in Georgia, winemaking was happening. So this is one of the oldest wine producing countries in the world. Next, we have India. India's capital is Delhi, and we know all the wonderful things about India. It is also one of the largest, it has world's largest film industry. That is the world's largest film industry in what way? In a way that it is producing the maximum number of films. For example, in 1 year, India produces the most number of films when compared to all other countries. That is one of the facts about India. But apart from that, we know about Taj Mahal, we know about the great wonders of India since we are Indians. Next, we'll go to Indonesia. Now, Indonesia's capital is Jakarta. Jakarta is the capital of Indonesia. The world's largest archipelago nation with over 17,000 islands. Like I'll show the map to you, you'll get an idea. This is Indonesia. You can see how it is spread across by small islands. And that is why Indonesia is made up of so many islands together. That's what makes it a single country. So it is made up of almost 17,000 islands. Next is Iran. Iran's capital is Tehran. It is home to one of the oldest civilizations in the world, that is the Persian Empire. Now, the Persian Empire, here only the word paradise got formed, because in Persia, the word paradise is enclosed gardens, and they always had an they always had an architectural built which had enclosed gardens. For example, in India, we can take when the Persians, Turks, and all came to India and built monuments. For example, the Taj Mahal. They also had gardens and enclosed gardens that they built, and from that only the word paradise was derived. And it's also the origin of Persian cat. Even today, people get Persian cats as a pet. So that also derived from this nation. Okay. Yeah, so Iran is home to one of the oldest civilizations, which is the Persian Empire. Next, Iraq. Iraq, there is some a capital. Iraq's capital is Baghdad. Okay. Now, Iraq is nothing but Mesopotamia. You would have heard about Mesopotamia. For example, Indus Valley civilization, we keep telling in India. Similarly, there was another civilization called as the Mesopotamian civilization, which is such a vast and old civilization. It is called the cradle of civilization. Cradle, that is the start of civilization. So, Iraq, the modern Iraq is nothing but the old Mesopotamia, and it's called as the cradle of civilization. Its capital is Baghdad. Now, next we have Israel. We all know about Israel and the issues that has been going on in the news about. Now, Israel's capital is Jerusalem. For Christians, this is a very important part. Now, because it is considered as a birthplace of Christianity, and so this is an extremely important historical importance to Christian people. And Israel's capital is at Jerusalem. The Dead Sea is present on its border. Okay, it's present on the border of Israel and Jordan. Now they both are present nearby. We can see in the map. This is Iran. This is Iraq. This is Jordan. Okay, you can see it's very small. This is Jordan. And this is Israel. So on the border of it is Dead Sea. And if you see Dead Sea, it is one of the lowest points on Earth's surface. So on the Earth's surface, one of the most lowest point is present in where? On Dead Sea, and that is present in Israel and Jordan's. It's present in Israel and Jordan's border. Now, Japan. Japan, it is like an island. It's given separately. I'll show you on the map later. Its capital is Tokyo. Now, Japan also has a lot of islands together, almost 6,800 islands, and it is one of the world's most earthquake-prone nations. They also have a quick way of coming out of it because they've been living there, like they have been used to getting earthquakes very often, so that it is not a very big thing for them. They can easily bounce back because they have that kind of mechanisms in Japan. Jordan. Talking about Jordan, Jordan's capital is Amman, and it is the home to Petra, which is the ancient rose red city carved into rock cliffs. It is like a great tourist destination, and we also saw that it is also bordering Dead Sea. Now, Dead Sea, you cannot drown in Dead Sea. If you are, even if you don't know swimming and you are in Dead Sea, you will just float in Dead Sea because of the high salt content. It has so much of salt. It has so much salt content that you cannot drown in that sea. You can float in the sea even if you do not know swimming. Next is Kazakhstan. Its capital is Astana. It is the world's largest landlocked country, bigger than all of Western Europe. More than the whole Western Europe, Kazakhstan alone has a lot of landmass, but at the same time, it is the largest landmass with landlocked country. That is, they don't have any access to sea or ocean, but at the same time, they have a lot of landmass. Finally, Kuwait. The capital is also Kuwait City. It has the world's sixth largest oil reserves. Now, you see in the map of Japan, this is Japan. You can see, like how we saw in Indonesia, there was around 17,000 islands. In Japan, it was almost 6,800 islands together. Okay, so this is Japan, and we're going to see about Kazakhstan. Look, this is not sea. Okay, here also Europe will come, but since this is just a map of Asia, that space is left. So this is also a landlocked country, but a very big country. That's what we saw about Kazakhstan. Okay, so this is about Kazakhstan. Next, near to that, there was Kyrgyzstan. For Kyrgyzstan, the capital is at Bishkek. Over 90% of its territory is covered by mountains itself. So you can see how the physiography keeps changing from place to place. And Asia has almost all the different kinds of physiography. Like we saw the desert parts, and we saw how mountainous parts are there, and we even saw the land of fire where natural gas gives out bubbles. And we also saw that the world's highest peak, Mount Everest, is also present in Asia, which is snowbound. So you can see how a different range of, and we saw about Dead Sea. Like, so you can see how different Asia is. Asia has all kinds of physiographic divisions, from snow to desert to sea to mountains. One of those examples is Kyrgyzstan, where 90% of its territory is covered by mountains. Next is Laos. Laos is again a very small country. Its capital is Vientiane. It is the most bombed country as per capita in history from the Vietnam War era. So there was Vietnam War that was happening, and during that time, it was bombed a lot. Laos was bombed a lot, and that's why it's the most bombed country per capita in history. Next, we have Lebanon. Its capital is Beirut. It is home to some of the world's oldest cities, like Byblos, one of the oldest continuously inhabited cities. Now, for example, if you see some other old cities, like from what we found from Indus Valley civilization or in other areas, they won't be as inhabited today as they were in the past. In the past, there would have been a lot of people living there, but now because it is ancient, there won't be so much population. But it's not like that in Lebanon. They have some old cities like Byblos, but even today it is continuously inhabited by people. Next, we have Malaysia. Malaysia's capital is Kuala Lumpur. The Petronas Twin Towers were the world's largest building from 1998 to 2004. After that, much more larger buildings were built. What is the largest building today? If you know, it's in Dubai, it's the Burj Khalifa. Uh, but at that time, that is from 1998 to 2004, the largest building was the Petronas Twin Towers, which was present in Malaysia. Next, we have Maldives. Its capital is Malé. It is the flattest country in the world. No land point is more than 2.4 meter above sea level. Now, this is also a disadvantage to the Maldives people because it will easily sink if the sea level increases, because more than 2.4 meter above sea level, more than that, not one part of the country is, it is only till that level that the country is. So in case if the water rises, and why would the water rise? Is there any possibility for the sea level to go up? Yes, there is. How? If you see, the sea level will rise due to many factors. One is global warming. How come if global warming is there, sea level will rise? If global warming is there, due to excessive heat, glaciers will melt more. Due to that, water will come from the glaciers, the water will come, those fresh water will get mixed with the sea water, and this will increase the sea level. So if it increases the sea level, there is a high chance that Maldives will sink. And also they don't have much of economic activities since they are an island, and so main economic activity that they depend on, Maldives depends on, is tourism. Next, we have Mongolia. Now, Mongolia's capital is Ulaanbaatar, the world's most sparsely populated sovereign nation with just 2 people per kilometer square. That is, in you will take the whole land area and divide it by the population, then you will get the population density. By population density, if you see, it is the world's most sparsely populated nation. It's very little population compared to the territory it has. Okay, like it covers, like per kilometer itself only 2 people would be there. It is like that sparsely populated. Next we have Myanmar. Its capital is Naypyidaw, home to Shwenmengon Pagoda, which is a 2,500-year-old golden Buddhist stupa. Like when you're studying about Buddhism and all, you'll learn that stupas are one of the most important structures where they have remains of either Buddha or his teachings and all. And the one of the oldest stupas is situated here in Myanmar. Now, this is also a neighboring country to us. And then we have Nepal. Nepal's capital is Kathmandu. Nepal's capital is present in Kathmandu. It is home to 8 of world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest. So Nepal, that is Mount Everest, not completely present in Nepal, but one part of Mount Everest is present in Nepal, and then it again continuously goes to Tibet and other areas also. So its capital is Kathmandu, and it's home to 8 of the world's most tallest mountains. North Korea. North Korea's capital is Pyongyang, and it has the world's largest stadium. Again, this and all is not, you need not memorize any of these. It's just for your information to make it a little interesting. And then finally, we have Oman. Its capital is Muscat, famous for producing frankincense, which has been traded for like almost over 5,000 years. They've been trading it, and that's happening in Oman. So these are the countries we're going to see for today, and you can actually refer this in your atlas. You can keep your atlas, and then whatever countries we saw today, you try to mark them up in the atlas, and you can get a political map, world political map or Asia political map, and try to mark what all we've learned today. For example, we've learned Georgia, we've learned Lebanon, we've learned Israel, we've learned Oman. Finally, lastly, we learned about Oman, and we've learned about Maldives. So you can see how Maldives is. It's a very small island in the Indian Ocean. And then we saw about Korea, North Korea, South Korea. So we finished no, we didn't cover Philippines, I think. We only completed Indonesia. And we saw Vietnam, we saw Laos. This is the most bombed country in the Vietnam War, because you can see here is Vietnam, here is Laos. You can see how close they are. And then we saw about Myanmar. It is here. The Buddhist stupa, the world's largest, one of the oldest Buddhist stupas is present in Myanmar. So when you're seeing it in the map, try to connect it with the facts that we learned about today. And that's how you can revise it and you can have it in memory. Like, try to locate those things. So kindly keep an atlas with you, Oxford Atlas or any atlas with you before starting the map classes. Okay. So there are still so many countries left in Asia, and we will see that in the next class. Thank you.